Hello everyone, this is me, Alex Buberoni here. I know I haven't made a video in like years, like an actual video that wasn't just me, blue balling everyone into thinking I was going to keep on making content. But this time I actually do want to make content. I don't really have any specific ideas for what type of content I want to make specifically, but I do plan on making content nonetheless. So let's start by exploring some of my old Minecraft worlds. As you can see, I don't have too many of them, and a lot of them are like maps anyway, so I'll skip those. Let's start by going on some of my old survivals. Not really much here. Yeah, sorry, this game takes forever to load for some reason. Also, another annoying thing is that I couldn't film this in full screen, so I have to window the game in order to actually record it. So hopefully it comes out right. I also had to record using a different software because the fucking recording on this app sucks balls. So, oh yeah. I mean, I'm clearly not in survival anymore, but this was my December 2018 survival, so it's a very, very old one. One that I probably went into creative mode to make this house. And as you'll see, this isn't the first iteration of this house that I have, though this one is the first. This is kind of like the first time I built a house in this style. It's actually quite useful. You have the base part of it, which is like the main area that I tend to use. It's got like a bunch of animal pens on the outside and a hallway that goes all the way around. Then on the inside here we have a storage room somewhere. Oh yeah, might as well go down here. This is just the basement, which I was going to use for tree farming, but I never ended up actually using it. Don't know why I wanted to do it down here, but whatever. It's an old world. I have like a main storage room. Also, I apologize for the game's brightness. I like to play my games moody. It makes the game more atmospheric, if you know what I mean. I come upstairs, which I don't have an actual proper stairwell built to come up here. There's the kitchen, which looks like ass because I never finished it. Most of the interior is empty. I did have plans to make stuff, but I never did. There's even like a miniature farm in here. Even like little gardens around the windows. I didn't come up with the design whole cloth. I just googled a bunch of different designs and kind of merged them all together into one. So if you've seen houses that look familiar, I'm not trying to steal the design. I just thought it would look cool if I, merged a bunch of different house designs together. And I do have a bedroom in this house somewhere. I just can't find where it is. There's too many rooms to keep track of. It's also very plain. Oh, what the fuck? Oh well. Yeah, I'm not gonna go over every single detail in all of my survival worlds. Just this one doesn't really have much to it. Other than this, I think there's like a mine, and even then mines are pretty boring in this game. At least mine are. They're not usually that elaborate. At least not at this point yet. I think some of my later survivals had more elaborate mines, but even then I'm not sure. I don't tend to make a career out of mining in this game. I'm more of a builder, as you can tell. So yeah, I do have a mine. I don't think there's anything interesting in the game, and for some reason I don't have Optifine enabled, which is going to be a pain in the ass when I go to zoom in. Yeah, there's nothing really down here. Also, for some reason I was mining at level 10 instead of level 11, which would have made it easier for me to mine around the lava, but oh well. So yeah, that's pretty much the ins and outs of this world. I don't know if I found a village in this world or not, but it's not a very interesting one. I only played on it for like a month. In fact, it's only, day 137, so I was clearly on it for a while, though most of it was just building this house. If you guys think this house is massive, though, you guys haven't seen anything yet. This is one of my smaller houses. I tend to build really massive houses in my survivals. Alright, let's see what else we've got. I'm gonna work my way from the bottom to the top, so yeah, if I get a little distracted, don't worry. I never know what to talk about other than the world, so this was like an automatic nuclear power plant thing that I had made. Fairly cool. You have the different temperature gauge, emergency cooling system, automatic temperature regulator. Light is on when nuclear reactor is active. Light is on when heating system is activated. This toggles whether or not it's on or off. This enables heating, which you can switch on and off. Though I just have the automatic one on because I find it's cool. It's actually probably more it's probably not as complicated as it looks. Quite simple actually. It's just a bunch of repeaters and observers and comparators, which regulate, you know, how much hot. Basically, one side is for the heat. The more is in here, the more hot it gets. And there's a thing that detects it and automatically turns this thing off, or something like that. It's been years since I built this. I don't remember when this world was made. Probably when I was like 13 years old. I don't remember any of it. I have the nuclear reactors, which aren't really that elaborate either. Yeah, nothing too interesting on this world. There's like the fueling station, which even more redstone back here. Tells me how much fuel is in there, which normally I'd have to like. I had built an entire nuclear plant world when I was 13 as well. On a different world that didn't have any of the systems built in yet, but it was more for the appearance. This was an SMP I did with my friends. I'll hesitate to go around their houses just for privacy reasons, but I will show you my section. So yeah, this whole island was mine. As you can see, this was probably like summer of 2019, so it was shortly after I built that other house in the other world. Though this one has a much bigger house, more elaborate as well. As you can tell, I flattened a bunch of land because I planned to make like a miniature town around it and never ended up doing it. Just had a farm, a Statue of Liberty, and an ice highway getting me from to my other friends' islands. Nothing too interesting in this house. It's the same basic thing as my other house, but there's a lot more to the interior this time. An extra storage room that I never used. More animal pens. This one actually has a garage in it though. I think the other one may have as well, I just didn't show it. Same basic principle. This is like the Mark II of this house, another portal room. A map of the island, which yes, I did painstakingly dig into this shape. And my storage room, which is like the main area I hang out in. And yeah, if you've noticed, I actually did painstakingly build a wall surrounding the entire island, and even my house, because I built my house on a bit of a higher angle. I did also start mining the underneath part, because I was going to build a mall. I never ended up doing that because we didn't do this survival for very long. Although I think it's still like day 800 or something. I did start building other houses on other islands, but I never finished anything on this island. This is one of my oldest survivals, the summer of 2017. When I first got this version of the game, I used to play Pocket Edition in like 2013 or whatever, but this is the first survival that I had in Java Edition. It's a very tiny house in comparison to some of my later ones. And yeah, most of it's just bland looking in my opinion. I've become a much better builder and whatnot since this, which was like 6 years ago at this point. can't believe that was already 6 years ago, Jesus Christ. Not much interesting stuff going on. If I go into the basement though, I have a nether wart farm, my nether portal. I don't know what this room is. Oh god, I forgot I'm still in survival in this world. Oh yeah, there's my storage room down here. And my mine, which I'm not going to bother showing you because it's boring. I didn't show you the mine on the other survival too because it's very boring. This world, not really much. Flattened out a bit of land around my house to make a nice little yard. Didn't bother fixing the land. I'm still using a stone pickaxe, so I clearly didn't get that far into this survival. It's also near... Also, all of this village, by the way, was hand-built. I manually built all of these buildings in this hole in the ground. I don't know why I did, maybe because there was no villages nearby. But I did build this whole thing. I remember that. In fact, this building right here is not a building that usually generates in villages. It's meant to be like the town hall. I don't think there's anything in the town hall though. It's just an empty building. Yeah, nothing much. Pretty boring. Though I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have too many older survivals. So most of the survivals we'll be getting now will be more recent ones. I'm gonna try to go in order. Do I have another survival? March 2019, January 2019. I have a few, I guess. I didn't remember having that many. Apparently I had a lot in early 2019. Oh, I remember this one. There used to be a village here. I tried flattening out the land. I guess I went in creative mode. I started building a newer, more improved village. I built a church. A much bigger church. Nothing much. Yeah, you may have noticed a trend in most of my survivals of flattening out the land. Oh yeah, the tower to the height limit. These are just like apartment buildings. I have no clue what the hell this is. Oh, it's a mine. This was supposed to be a library, which I never finished building. This is my brother's house. Which, yeah, he's usually on most of my survivals. Nothing much in here. Yeah, most of my survivals don't have too much interesting in them, at least not my old ones. Let's see if there's anything in the March 2019 survival. I think I remember this one. This was actually the first survival that I had more than a stack of diamonds on. Made me proud. I'm not much of a miner, so most of my... Oh yeah, I had an outline for a bunch of buildings I was going to make. Never actually finished them. I had a few buildings here, but that's about it. Also, I'm pretty sure I used unenchanted iron tools to flatten this out, which took a long time. What day is it? Day 188, so... There was also a village here, too, at some point that I tore down to build this, which I was going to make a new, improved village. I never actually ended up building it. I'll go through my survivals first, and then I'll go to my creative worlds a bit later. So March 2019, are there any more? I did have a survival in the summer of 2019, but I think I deleted that world years ago by mistake. It wasn't a very interesting survival, it was just another one of those island survivals. Though it does kind of make me realize just how much time was wasted in this game. How much time I procrastinated actually doing something productive. Actually, here we have... Oh, I remember this one. This one I had This was another one of those worlds where I flattened out a lot of land to build a huge village that I never ended up actually building. Yeah, this house has a lot of storage rooms in it. Technically not my, like, it's not really a house more than it is like an underground thing, underground bunker. Which actually was originally, well, this just goes to my mind, a subway station, I think. My furnace. Yeah, this is also the first world I think I started using other than that SMP that I with the big ass house on the island. That's probably the first world that I started using enchanted diamond tools in. Every other world followed suit. Yeah, this is just where I kept my villagers. And this was the subway area, which I also never actually finished. I was going to build a Tim Hortons in it, never finished that either. And there's like a little map of the area. This one actually I did build stuff though. If you notice, there's a huge farmland around here. Got like pretty much every single resource in the game that I can get here. I even have a pillager farm up in here. There was an outpost that spawned here, so I just cleared out the area, flattened it out so that they can only spawn inside of this thing. And I think when I have the difficulty turned on, they'll spawn in. I don't know if it counts as cheating, but I usually turn the difficulty off if I'm flattening land just because it makes it easier. I don't have to go to bed. It also makes the progression of the days slow down. This one's only 4:11. But I did build... This was one of my... I think I had this survival between September of 2019 up until like March of 2020, and then I created a new world with a friend. Speaking of which, the next survival on our list is going to be the March of 2020 survival. This one I actually spent a lot of time on, because this is like when COVID was first happening. So I had quite a bit of time to burn. And you'll notice soon enough that this is going to be a very, very expansive world in the span of like 2 months. So this was like my little house. Not a very big house. Fairly simple in terms of, you know, construction. Wasn't meant to be like a very big house or anything. Is more for the aesthetic of like a farmhouse. This is supposed to be a kitchen, never really did it. This is like the living room, I guess. The back porch. Then we go upstairs and I have like a bathroom and then my bedroom. Which again, not much, not really anything too interesting in here. And then we go up into the attic. Nothing in here. I think I was originally going to use it as a storage room and never bothered. Then we go into the basement where my actual storage room is. We have like my villager room, my storage room, and this one's pretty big in comparison to some of my other ones. Some more block specific storage. I never ended up filling this room up though, but I don't think it's organized. No. And you have like my mine, which I'm not going to bother going down because there's probably nothing interesting down there. Another one of those worlds where I have a massive farm. This one actually has other houses. My friend and my brother's house, which you could never build a house and stick with it. He always builds like 15 different houses. Another big farm, more land. Yeah, most of the time I spend a large chunk of my time flattening out land with... What do I have on here? Yeah, pretty much maxed out. Now you'll see over here I flattened out an enormous chunk of land. I was gonna build an old west town where this outline is, and I actually have the town built on another world, but I didn't actually follow through with it. Yeah, you might have started noticing a pattern with my worlds. I don't tend to stick to anything. I'll get really ambitious and be like, ooh, I'm gonna flatten out all this land and build a huge town here, and then I never end up building it. It's just a giant flat land area with nothing. But it only gets worse from here on out. Next survival was my May 2020 survival, which I played on mostly between like May and June, July of 2020, and then I kind of stopped playing it. I did play it every once in a while though after that. This survival I actually kept in survival mode, although I might switch to creative just... Oh, great. Now this area here, I had a lot more land flattened down. I don't really know why I flattened out so much land. I was originally going to build a town, but didn't end up following through with it again, as seems to be the case. Though I did keep the mountains here so it looks more natural than it does on my other worlds. For the most part, anyway. I have like a giant moat around my property. This is probably the biggest house I've made, and you might have noticed it looks familiar. It's actually a replica of Stampy's house, one of my childhood Minecraft YouTubers. It's actually a bit different, but I tried keeping the main architecture as much as I could. So you have like the main entrance here. I didn't build this whole world, that would have taken me eons, but especially in survival mode. But here we have like the main entrance, which hasn't really... I tried to use a bit of different wood to make it look a bit more versatile and well decorated. You have the storage room, which I decorated a bit too. Not as big as some of my other storage rooms, and it's not organized either, so it's just the way it is. You go up here and you have like the brewing room, which I never used. The enchantment room, which, you know, I only used a bit. And this is also when I think around the time the Nether update came out. I think I originally made this world before the Nether update, but then the Nether update came out, so I traveled further into the Nether. Found some netherite, made some netherite tools. Some nice tools. Also, I think in Stampy's house there was only one floor down. I made this one go a bit further down. These doors don't go anywhere though. I got my dirt storage room. My mine, which I'm again not going to show you because there's probably nothing good down there. My cobblestone storage, which also is just a giant hallway filled with cobblestone. And you're probably wondering, why are there so many chests in this room? Well, there's all underneath my property I started digging out. I was originally going to go all the way down to bedrock. God knows how long that would have taken me. I think this was around the time that TNT started dropping all blocks instead of destroying the items, so that was also nice. It just comes out here. And I'm not 100% sure where this goes. Maybe I was going to have layers of this go down, but so far nothing. Except there is the diorite, andesite, and granite storage rooms, and another one at the far end. Oh, wood. Then of course there is the Nether portal room, which if you're a true Stampy fan you might remember that's where he kept his Nether portal. Nothing too interesting. Nether's pretty damn empty as well. Also you can lock it from the inside so nothing can get in while you're in the Nether. Probably could have made pressure plates, but actually I could just fly up. I'm not in survival anymore. So yeah, then we have like the storage room, which I kept the architecture relatively the same. I just made the roof a bit taller. Then there's up here, which I don't actually remember what it was in Stampy's world. I just made it like a little fireplace room. Completely useless, but whatever. Then you have the love garden out back, which I have no signs because I never actually did anything. It was just kind of there. It's a nice design though, I do like it. Then there's, if we go into here, we have my room, which I had like fire themed. Tried to make the roof look like smoke, the ground, the charcoals, and then the walls were the fire. A little balcony as well. Also, if you might also remember the painting hole, which you can see I actually can't get through unless I crouch and go upstairs, and there's nothing. No Elfer-Lee. No Elfer-Lee in this game. No in Stampy anymore because the allegations, which, yeah, I was not expecting that. There's my brother's bedroom, which is pretty more open than mine. He's got an AFK fishing thing in here, which I don't even believe works anymore in new versions of the game. Don't know if there's anything upstairs, but no, it's just a little, goes up to the tower, roof access. Nothing in here. Also, I did make mine a bit more of a half-cylinder shape as opposed to being more of a disc like Stampy's. This is just like spare bedrooms, nothing too interesting. You have like the music tower with the water tower thing, which, and just like in his, the water comes up from here, pours down into here, comes out into here, and falls back down through the house into the lake. Next up, we've got this section of the house, which was originally in a mountain, even in this world, but I tore it down. We got the bathroom. Tried to make it look like an actual bathroom. Working shower. Bathtub. Sink, toilet. A living room, which I think I made identical to his, which, same thing with the kitchen. Don't know if there's anything in here. Oh yeah, all my food. The room with every single block in the game, which I didn't manage to get every single one. I tried, but I didn't get them all. Actually, I didn't try, I just kind of put whatever I had in there. It just goes back outside. Room for rent, yeah, nothing in here. And we have the party room, which I don't remember what he called it, but yeah, mine's empty. Oh, there is like a kitchen in the far back, or something down here, another storage room. Because I made this a bit longer than Stampy's, had a bit of extra space. Now in the basement, we have a library, which I decided to make out of this new, what kind of, crimson wood, which was new at the time. Also, there's this fireplace that is supposed to light, but I don't have anything. The secret fireplace that went somewhere, I don't remember where it went. It doesn't go anywhere. Where does this go? I think it just goes back out to the back, yeah. Then we have the pool room, which kind of followed the same wave pattern of water. It's supposed to be a jacuzzi. Could have added magma blocks, but I guess I didn't. A little diving board. So yeah, this was probably the only house that I actually had most decor inside look nice. A lot of my other houses were just empty, but this time I actually had a source of inspiration. There's a little lake here. Now in this area we have just acres of flat land that just keeps going and going for I don't even know how long. think if I go far enough, it loops back around. Yeah. There's nothing really here, it's just more land that I needed to flatten. I didn't finish all of this, but this is probably the world that I flattened the most. Even more so than that other world. Or maybe not, I don't know. I do remember spending a lot more time on this world. Maybe it's because there was a lot more mountains, but... yeah, this one is probably one of my better survivals in terms of actually doing stuff, even though I didn't end up building anything other than this house. I think that might be it. I think the next survival wasn't until 2021. Wait, where am I? Hold on a minute. The fuck? That's not what I wanted to do. In this world, I actually did build a big, massive island. It took me forever to dig down. I was gonna make the whole thing farms. I think I had one for like every tree. I didn't fill them all up, but I did get most of them. And then I was gonna make this another island. I was actually gonna replicate all of my previous houses into one survival. Never ended up doing that. But this survival actually got pretty far in a matter of like a few months. And then I just kind of stopped playing the game for a while. Oh, a huge, huge amount of stone. I don't remember how long ago I was in this game. I think I played this relatively recently, like throughout 2022. This whole river too is artificial, and you do not want to know how long it took me to fill it in. I only managed to get it 5 blocks deep, but it took me forever. I was gonna make a huge bridge going across. Yeah, so far this survival's not anything too spectacular other than a huge farm, probably the biggest one yet. I think that's all of them, other than... I think that's most of them, hold on. I had another survival about a year later. What's this one? Probably didn't get nearly as far in this one, since this one's only a few months ago. Yeah, this one I didn't go too far in. Never even left underground. I'm still using iron tools, for Christ's sake. I do have a few more. One of these worlds is an empty one, and the other one is... I do have one... January... Hold on, I have another survival that it's missing. I may have deleted it by mistake, but I could have sworn I saw it. Oh, here we go. This one was made just a couple months later. Don't remember how far I got into it. Oh yeah, this world. I remember this one. I had a nice decorative house. Didn't get too far though. I was building more farms. Another island, which I lived in a hole in the ground originally, and then I kind of built around, I dug out all around it. I did a good job decorating this, though, I do say. Try to give every little corner of the house its own little unique styling. Didn't do this room yet, and this just goes down to my mine, which again is very plain and empty. I do like this room though. It's meant to give off like this little area down here that I live in. Very aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. Yes, and toot my own horn sometimes. And that would be the last survival, I think. I do have one more. Which, again, is another one of those. This one was one that I replicated a YouTuber's build, just because I was bored. I built like a village city. I don't remember the name of the YouTuber. I think it was like Kylecraft or something. Transforming a village into a city with like skyscrapers. I did most of the exterior buildings, but I didn't finish the interior of most of them, or at least of the bigger ones, like these two here. Though there are some with interiors, like these are farms, and this was supposed to be an XP farm, but doesn't work in this version of the game. This is like a villager trading hall that I never finished making. So is this. Didn't have enough redstone, I don't think. I didn't ever really go mining in this world. I haven't played in months though. I think mostly March and April that I played. And that's pretty much it for my survivals. And these are all maps. I'm not going to bother going through most of my creative worlds because most of them are empty. Well, some of them I actually like. I made a 2-fort map when I was like 13 or something. When I first got the game in like the summer of 2017. I tried to make the whole thing. Doesn't actually have a working like AI or anything. I didn't know how to do that back then. I just made the map. It's pretty nice though, especially considering I made this like 6 years ago. It does have like all of the rooms and stuff as well. It has like equipment and stuff. No potion of healing though. Not sure what I had for the intelligence though. You suck, blue team. Oh, god damn. So I made all of that. Wonderful. I did have a secret tunnel somewhere. I think it was up here. Not actually supposed to go to that part in the game. It's not accessible, but I made it accessible. Crawling through the vents. This must have been after that then. Because I don't think... Oh no, it was around the time... I might have added this later on. When 1.13 came out and I could crawl like that. I don't think 1.13 didn't come out until like a year later after I built this map. Little house thing. I think this brings me out to the sewers, yeah, this area here. Blue team, same thing, just blue. I think the resupply room is the same as well. This reminds me, I was really obsessed with Team Fortress 2 at the time, so I built a map of it in Minecraft. It's been a while since I played that game as well. I think that's one of them. There's not too much else that I'm missing. I have a couple worlds that don't have much interesting things on them. I think this one is actually one of the... This was the old West town that I was going to build in that one survival I was talking about. Looks cool at night, but you guys probably can't see shit. I'm not gonna bother going inside all of the buildings, but most of them are pretty empty anyway, except maybe like the saloon. Yeah, there's supposed to be a piano, I think. Oh yeah, it's got like one of those pianos that play themselves that you sometimes see in westerns. I also built the Back to the Future courthouse, it looks like, for some reason. Most of these buildings have stuff in them, but I'm not going to bother going in most of them. Except maybe the church, because it looks pretty big and well built. And it's pretty empty. I'm proud of this world, though. I think this was also something I built during the pandemic. I played a lot of Minecraft at the time because there was nothing else to do. This video is getting quite long. I'm gonna have to wrap things up soon. Yeah, there's nothing too interesting. I have a couple other creative maps, but I won't bother going on them. Anyway, that's about it. I don't really have much else to say other than, yeah, past few years, depression's been pretty bad, so I haven't really been, you know, making YouTube videos hasn't really been something on the top of my priority list, but I am gonna try to come back, make some videos. Not sure what I want to do specifically, just that I want to make some videos soon, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.